Hey, welcome to the Ozzstar Cars channel. As you saw in that little teaser, we're not going to be working on a car today, but we will be working on a washing machine. And I'm going to share with you what they have in common, and we're going to do the repair and discuss it. So basically in this case, we have a washing machine, an LG top or front loader I should say, that has an issue where it's getting a code, a trouble code, just like a car would with a check engine light. It comes on, it's saying IE. Now IE with an LG means low water supply. So it's having an issue filling up for whatever reason, but we're going to diagnose all that, and I want to tell you what they have in common. They both have, in this case, solenoids. So solenoids, here's one, this is for the washing machine actually. Solenoid is an electromagnetic device which converts electricity to mechanical action or work. So in this case, when this is energized with electricity, there's a manual valve that opens up and allows water to flow. You know, this is coming in, it flows out. So it's allowing water to flow. It could also, a solenoid like on your car could be for a purge valve or a vent valve. When it's commanded on, it opens and allows either vacuum to draw vapors from the tank out or maybe expel vapors into the charcoal canister. So they're very much in common. This LG washer with a trouble code IE, meaning low water supply, kind of like your check engine light would come on in your car. And the reason I'm showing you this is because you have many different types of solenoids. Even a fuel injector is a solenoid. The computer sends voltage to that solenoid to turn on, it opens up, and fuel is under pressure, sprays out. So there's lots of different solenoids. I'm going to take you with me to diagnose this washing machine. Basically what was happening is the homeowner would run the cycle. You hit your wash cycle, 50 minutes or whatever, and pretty much halfway through, I think it was during the rinse cycle, the machine was shut down. There are a couple of computers in those newer washing machines, and it would throw this IE code and basically shut down. She'd have to hand start it, so to speak, open it up, spin the thing around, restart, all that fun stuff. So we're going to fix it today. I'm going to show you how to diagnose one of these inlet valves. So here's our washing machine. If you need to know your model number, just open the door on these front loader LGs, and your model number's right here. This one happens to be a WM 2016 CW. So they're pretty much the same in this generation. Maybe this thing's about 10 years old or so. So I want to show you how to put this in diagnostic mode. All right, got a good shot of the buttons there. And basically what you want to do is hold spin speed and soil level down at the same time. Push these in while you press the power button. Now all the, we'll call them gauges, I don't know if I got a glare here, but all these should light up. All these lights, let me zoom in on this. You hear the door locks, okay, so that's test one. And there's different diagnostic levels. So by pushing the start button here, this little play button, every time you push that, you go into another diagnostic mode. I think there's like 11 of them or something like that. I'll put a picture of the modes here in the video. Anyhow, so this thing is like right now saying whatever it's saying. I don't understand it, doesn't matter. All these lights are lit up. Let's push it one time, and what we're going to do is run through the cycle. So basically, as you do this, you can test out the motor, make sure that the drum spins here. We want to check for the fill. That's our problem. We've got an IE code, like I mentioned, so that's a water supply issue. But let's push this once. And the pump kicks on for the drain. That's slow drum roll there. Let's hit it again. 2. Oh, by the way, this is going to give us, I just put it in high speed. You can kind of hear it. Hopefully you can hear me over the machine. This is our RPMs, and I believe it's times 100. So I think it's like 540 RPMs right there. Let's hit this again. So that's a, that will vary the spin cycle, so it'll go fast to low to medium, whatever it does there. We don't need to worry about that. We're going to the fill. So let me hit that again. Now this is a fill level coming up. This should stop. We're going to hear the valves. Well, that was the drain. It's very hard to hear. I'm pointing you back here to where the valves are. The inlet has just opened up to let water in. So what this does basically is tell you the water level, and you want to see this number drop. Like it just went to 161, 160. See how it's dropping? Well, in this case, I think what's happening is the solenoid isn't letting a lot, or it's getting hung up, and it's not letting the water level, or water level fill, I should say, the drum to fill with water, and then it's tripping the IE code. So it's 253, 252. I'm not going to bore you, and eventually, you know, with how it works, but eventually you'll see water fill up in the drum down here at the bottom. And you want to stop it at that point. You don't want it to start pouring out, or you'll have an issue. So it's very slow. Okay, it's kind of, you can't really pick it up on camera, but it's kind of hit and miss there. I'm going to take this top off, and we'll get a close-up of that. So anyway, I wanted to show you how that works. Let me hit this again. Here's the fill. One of them, of course, is for your soap. So you have a valve that controls a small flow of water to wash your soap into the push it into the machine. Basically, this comes out. You push this button, tab, and back there, all that soap that's in your dish here will run back into the drum here. So anyway, I can hear the water. You can see it's going down to 250. It's kind of quiet. Let me hit this again. Got a little louder. Okay, and it's taking its time. It's kind of stuck at 250 right now. I still don't see any water pouring in here. Hopefully you can see okay. There's a glare and a condensation going on. Let's hit it one more time. It's just dropped to 249. So mind you, the water is filling up below the drum that we can't see. It's going to kind of push through those perforations. There's another one, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'll tell you what we're at. Here's a drum spin, rinse, or wash code, or cycle, I should say. I'll get it out there. That's the RPMs again. Hit it one more time. And then there's one, I believe the next one is for the pump. So we should hear that kick on. There you go. Back there's our drain. Oops, already getting on film, but that's where that dumps out. So you should hear that running. And our level went back up to 263. So we know that that water level down here went down, right? Because the pressure, or our number actually went up. Hit it again. It should unlock. It did. Pull this out enough to get to those screws back there. I may have to move the camera. There's a tripod. There we go. Okay, that's out far enough. Let me show you what screws we need to remove so you'll know. Come on to the back of the machine. First of all, here's your hot and your cold. Here's the drain. And back here you have your inlet. So on the, looking at it this way, on the left is our cold. This is our hot. And the two screws we're going to remove are here. And there's one on this corner here. And then this thing, this top will just kind of pop up and out. So let me get the screws out. There are two brackets, I guess you could call them. Now they have two little pins. You see those? They fit into these holes right here, these big ones. So you go like this. There's two screws, one here and one there, that hold that in. Take those out. Now only on this side, here's our inlet valves, okay? So this is the cold and this is the hot. There's one screw here on this particular machine you'll need to remove. On the other side, you have the same bracket, okay, but just two screws to take out, nothing in the corner. So once that's out, let me put you up here. We should be able to yank this sucker up and out of the way. So you kind of put the screw over here, kind of pull up and back. It's a little tight. There we go. Push it back this way towards the back of the machine and then lift it up. And this whole thing will come out and we can get to the good stuff. Okay. So with that IE code, we have a water supply issue. Now one of the first things you want to do is look at your pressure switch right here. Now careful, this is plugged in. Don't touch anything, you don't want to get shocked. I'm leaving it plugged in because I need to show you how to diagnose this, or how I did. Anyway, this is your pressure switch. There's a rubber hose on here. What you got to do is make sure that this is connected.
Okay, make sure that that is connected, because sometimes these can pop off. Now to test it, make sure this, by the way, this runs all the way down. We can't see where it's going, but it's regulating the water pressure. The higher the water, the more pressure that this sensor is picking up. So what you can do is not unscrew, but pull this off, and you can blow into this, okay? If air flows through it, that means you don't have a clog down there. So that's a good thing to test first off. So make sure you try that out. You can ohm test this. I'm not going to do it today because it's not our problem, but you can make sure that this diaphragm in here is functioning. I'm a man of my word. I want to tell you how this bottom tube is not clogged. You can blow in it, you'll hear air, or if there's water down in there, you'll hear bubbles. So here we go. Smoke in the washing machine crack pipe. All right, so that's good. Let's plug this back in right here. Make sure that's on good and tight. Now, if these had slipped off, if you find that yours is off here and that's causing your IE problem, go ahead and get a wire tie or a small clamp and clamp that on to the nipple right there. All right, so let's get to the diagnosis. So we've got one solenoid here and then 3 over here. These are inlet solenoids for the water. This is our hot water. So our supply lines are right here. They come up. This side on the right is our hot water supply. Left is the cold supply. So on the cold here, on the inlet, we have 3 separate solenoids. One feeds like the soap dispenser right here that we just saw earlier. One might be like high flow, one's low flow. I'm not sure, that doesn't really matter. But what we're gonna do is diagnose these to see if this is our problem. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the machine in diagnostic mode right now. Let me set the camera down 1 second because I need 2 hands to do that. There we go. And what I'll do is we're going to start filling the drum here. So there, the door just locked. You heard the click. Let's press this. We don't need that one. We're going to push this until, there you go. Now we can hear the solenoids. And what you can do is, if you want to know which one it is, you just squeeze the hose. So, oops, I just squeezed it. There you go. You heard it just stopped. Okay, this one here, whichever one that is, that's what I want to show you. Now, a little trick, it stopped. There, you hear there's no flow. Let's tap it and listen. It's going to make me a liar. Alright, that one quit. It's done. I can't get it to go. Let me hit another one. Let's try another solenoid. It made me a liar. Let me see which one's right. I'm just squeezing these hoses here. Okay, so that's the center one. This one right here. Let's see if we can get it to stop. Okay, just stop. Let me tap it. Oop, came on by itself. So it should continue to run. As soon as I let go of pressure here, oop, now it sounds a little louder. Okay, there, it stopped. Let's tap it. Just came back on. So basically what this is telling us is there's a clog in here. There's an internal clog. So there's that little plunger and there must be a bunch of junk in it. We're just going to replace the whole unit, but I hope that helps you out. Like when I initially, there you go. See, it's working now. All right, let's try one more time. Let's stop it. Let's pinch it off. You'll listen. I'll stop talking and then I'll tap it. Stopped. There you go. Okay, this should not be doing that. As soon as you let go of the pressure here, squeezing it, this thing should just, oop, just got a little bit louder. So it's like intermittent. Basically, you get the idea. This is all one piece, this unit, this part. I'll leave a link in the description down below. I want to show you now to make sure, let's say you turned on your machine, you put it in diagnostic mode and you didn't hear anything, like these valves weren't opening, no water was running at all, not intermittent like we have. What you would do is put it in that diagnostic mode down here and then take your voltmeter, okay, I just got a cheapo right here, I keep in the truck, And what you do is, now be careful because there's 120 volts going through this thing, okay? So I have it now. I'm going to plug it in so you can hear it. Okay, you hear it's running, but let's say you didn't hear that. What you do is, carefully, you want to measure your voltage on the on this one here. So basically, you see how we just went to, what is it, 100 and whatever it is, 18, 10. It's fluctuating. So we know we have voltage here. So when this is off, and I will do that now. Let me see. I'll set it into the next mode. You should have 0 volts there. I'm going to try to do this without getting shocked. Let's see. This is going to be hard to do with just 2 hands, but we can do it here. All right, I'm going to push the diagnostic. Watch this right here. Okay. I just got it off that mode. It probably went to this solenoid here, which I have unplugged already, and we're at 0 volts. So if you saw 0 volts and you had it in the correct diagnostic mode, you got an electrical issue. You may want to start checking fuses in the circuit board and stuff like that. Make sure you have power to begin with. Of course, you'll know that because this, you can't see it, but you know, this unit will turn on if you have power, right? Okay, so that's how you do that. Now, what I'm going to do is unplug this before I get zapped, and you guys start laughing at me. Unplugged right here, and just unplug these connectors. They just wiggle right off. And what we'll do now is get this out of the way best we can so you guys can see. And I'm going to take you over here. Let's shut the water off. So shut your water supply. Cold. This is cold side. So we can just go right here. Do that one-handed. It's a little stiff. It's been a while since this has probably been on and off, and that's tight now. Okay, and when you turn these back on, make sure this kind of valve that you don't have a drip here. Sometimes on old houses where these valves, or I should say just old valves, they'll drip. The bonnet will start to, the seal goes bad and they can leak. So make sure that's not your problem. And now what we'll do is we're going to unscrew the back of this. I got to get a pair of channel locks. So when you get ready to disconnect these supply lines, make sure you have a small container because it is going to leak some water, and that the machine is unplugged. So what I do is just get this on here. I'll try to do it one-handed. Oops. Try to do it, catch it on film. Like I say, the water's off, and then just unscrew this. It's going to start dripping pretty good, so I'll just have to be fast. All right, let's get this unscrewed. We'll let this drain out into here. Just a little bit of water. And what you want to check is, the first thing you actually want to do is check this filter back here. So this one isn't the prettiest. Hold on, I'm setting this down on the floor so I don't have to hold it. There we go, that's down in there. Ouch, hit my head. Make sure this isn't clogged. You can pull these filter screens out. Make sure you don't have a lot of sand and grit. That would be a good start. So to get this solenoid out, or loose, there's 2 screws right here. So you see that? We'll just take those out. Alrighty, I'm going to zip the 2 screws out that I showed you. That's easy enough, just don't lose them. Alright, got that. And now this will be loose. Remember, you're unplugged. Okay, you got your solenoid right here. And here's a good shot of those 3. Alright, got my drain pan underneath here, just in case we get a little spillage. Take a pair of pliers. Now what you should do, or what you can do, is 2 different ways. You mark these like 1, 2, 3, or left, middle, right as you do it, or you can do them one at a time, which is probably what we'll do. So just break that seal, wiggle it a little bit, and don't rip any hoses, and then give it a good twist and pull, and she'll pop off like that. Okay, what I do is put this down here right now. Oh boy, it's a balancing act. I need a camera guy bad. All right, let's zoom out a little bit. Here's our new part. That's the part number. Like I say, I'll link it down below. If you want to match this up, it should be good. This is a very common failure. So these parts, even though it's been hard lately, it seems to get parts for cars and machines and stuff. This one was readily available. What I'll do is just eyeball it. Make sure everything looks the same, you know, similar. Okay, everything's going to work out. And I'll take this hose we just popped off one at a time, and I'll just slip that sucker on and tighten it. It's that easy. Put the clamp on, and we'll take this center one off. Break the seal there. I'm going to get rid of this, it's not dripping that bad. Okay, here's the center. Put this one on. It's real easy. It's not rocket science. What we might do later is we get back to the shop, take this solenoid apart right in here. Let's see if we see any of the contamination, or maybe it's just the electromagnetic coil that's gone, you know, failing, it's weak or whatever. But we won't know till we try to take it apart. There's some screws here, we might be able to autopsy it. Get that out of our way. And put this guy on. Now when we turn this into, or put this on diagnostic mode, we should really hear that water flowing real strong. And then that's it, we're done with this part. Pick the harness up, push it through, there's no gasket or anything. Put the 2 screws in the back, and we'll plug the connector in next. You don't have to go ballistic on these screws. Just get them snug. While I'm here, I'm going to hook up the supply line. Oops, I'm splashing all over. Make sure that your supply line gasket is good and not deteriorated. I put these on hand tight, and then I just blown some water off there. I give them a little snug with the channel locks. Again, that's a plastic fitting on the inlet. You don't have to go really tight with it. Just get it good and snug. You don't have to kill it. That should be good. Alright. Make sure everything's dry here. And we'll plug this in. The harness kind of keeps the connectors in line, but if you want, just mark them accordingly. Yeah, there you go, that word. Okay. Alright, so that's all set. We'll turn the water back on. Check for leaks down here where we just hooked up our new hoses. You should not hear any water flowing. Check back here on your supply, make sure that's dry. In this case it's good. Let's plug it back in, and we'll put it in diagnostic mode now, and we'll listen for the solenoids to kick on. So the new part's in, and let's put this in diagnostic mode. So push soil level and spin speed, and at the same time power. We're in diagnostic mode. We're going to hit this button here a few times. There's the door locked. You got to wait for that, so it'll go into the it'll do its thing, and we'll cycle through the different modes. Now we should hear the water flowing, and it should flow strong, and when we squeeze this hose to try to pinch it off, it shouldn't stop, or if it should slow down or stop, but as soon as you let go it should keep flowing. So let's listen. These are the spin cycles. That tests the motor and all that good stuff. Like I said, that's your RPMs, high speed, low speed. Here's our, this should be our fill. Let's wait and listen. Awesome. I'm sure you guys can hear that. And our numbers dropping much more rapidly now. Let's see down here, I see some water dripping in. Let's hit this again. Listen, let's just try it. I'm going to pinch this off. See how it stays on? Okay, beautiful. Let's hit the net. There's the water's coming in already, which it didn't do before. Let's hit this again. We got to move fast. This is the center. See, I can't even restrict it. It's still squealing and still pumping. When we let go, look how fast the water's coming in. Hit this again. We don't want to flood. When I say this, this is for the soap dispenser, or is that the hot? That's for the hot. That mode's hot. So we didn't have a problem here. We stop it, let it go, it keeps flowing. That's good. Let's hit this again and get it into draining mode, because we got a lot of water in there that fast. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's splashing around in there. There, you can watch it go down, and you can hear it. That was not happening with the other solenoid. Okay, so I love fixing things. That's definitely a fix, without a doubt. You put this back on, remember there's some grooves here. You got to kind of set it down and then push it forward. You'll feel it engage here. Sometimes they're a little tricky. Let's see, nope, didn't make it. Let's try again. There we go. And it'll sit tight along here, then you'll know you're good. So let me get the screws put back in, and we can wrap this one up. So with the top back on, let's everything's buttoned up. Make sure your drain hose didn't pop out back there. It's a good idea to wire tie those into the supply line. And scoot this sucker back. Get some help if you need it. So everything's back together. You made sure you had no water leaks while you had this open, right? Go ahead and turn it on. I suggest you always cycle it through, you know, a full cycle. Make sure you don't get any error codes. We'll put this on normal. Now I don't have any clothes right now to wash. Well, I've got the ones I'm wearing, but we're not doing that kind of movie today. Let's hit start, and it should go ahead and do its thing, and we'll let it go all the way through. I'll let it run through. I'll ask the homeowner to give me an update, make sure everything's good to go, and I'll let you guys know that was the fix. But I can already hear how much it's pumping in this water pressure to the soap dispenser. I believe it's very strong and powerful. So we're back in the shop. Let me open this solenoid up. I'm going to open this one right here. I know this one was really bad. This one was kind of weak. This one seemed okay, but why don't we start with this, well, just take the whole thing apart. It's not like we're going to reuse it, but I was just interested to see if it was, you know, anything maybe we could have taken apart to repair, but I doubt it. This kind of stuff, there's, you know, little parts in there are worn out, and it's not worth trying to salvage it sometimes. Just easier to replace. Oop, there's some water coming out. Alright, so let's see what we got. So, come closer. So we have these two, like, looks like diaphragm deals. I'll open, oop, can't see what I'm doing. You got these two, and then here's your plunger. So like I was saying in the opening of the video, here's our solenoid, and this is electrically magnetic charge. Here's a metal rod in there. So basically this valve, and look how decomposed the rubber is on the end. I'm touching it and it's just coming apart. So basically this is the valve, and it's opening and closing. So when you turn on the solenoid, when it's commanded on, it's probably doing that, opening and allowing the water to flow, and then when it shuts off, click. That's what I would assume is happening. So there's not much to see there other than this thing is like really worn out. And on this side of it, let me get a small pick. I see some O-rings. Maybe we can discover what the problem is. I'll try to get it on camera here. There you go. So it's like a little diaphragm here. It's not an O-ring, it's actually a seal. All right, well, I see a problem right now, right away. All right, well, here's an issue. I guess you could call this a diaphragm more than a seal, but it's ripped. Can you see that? The diaphragm is actually torn. So it's worn out for sure. So that was our problem. It's a good thing we replaced it. I don't know if you can get a rebuild kit. I'm not sure it would be really worth all that, but you could try it. Let's just, for the heck of it, check this one, because we had problems with this one too. It seemed like, or no, this one here wasn't that bad. It was bad, but not that bad. I don't see, what I was expecting to see is like a bunch of junk in there, like dirt and debris, but I don't see any of that. Let's see this one. This one is also ripped. I don't know, let me see, is this ripped? Let me get my old man glasses. Hold on, you guys can see it better than I can.
No, oh, yes it is. There's a hole right there. Right there where my finger is. See that right here? So they're all shot. It's junk. We made the right call. I guess if you wanted to verify before you bought new parts, you could take that little solenoid out. It just had a couple of screws with a bracket and slide right back in. I got this crap all over my hands now, but anyway, it proves the point. Everything's working good. I ran the machine through the full cycle mode and no IE codes, no codes at all. So everybody's happy. Good times, good day. So don't forget, if you're working on your car and let's say you're getting like a purge solenoid stock kind of issue, try tapping or smacking on it. It may come back to life. Same thing, you know, with anything really. It's like a vent valve, or you know, fuel pump isn't really a solenoid, that's a motor, but it has it's using electricity to produce something mechanical, I guess would be pumping the fluid. So anyway, that's about it. Enough rambling. Hope you enjoyed the video. A little different here, something a little different. If you like this kind of video, let me know, because I have another washing machine which I happen to own. Well, I think my wife owns it more than me, where we had a very different type of problem, but nonetheless a no working kind of condition. So let me know if you guys like the video. Maybe I'll shoot a quick one on that and post up. So thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to check out Glenn's Home Repair, or I mean Ozzstar's Cars, and I'll see you on the next one. Hint, hint. Take it easy.